You know, it's interesting because, of course, Bart played so many of those years for Rex, both in Baltimore and with the Jets. And Rex clearly always felt that way. You could tell Rex was a lot more afraid of Manning than he was of Brady back in the day. Tim Hasselbeck, you're a quarterback. Make sense of this for people who might think it's nonsensical.
Well, Greeny, you just touched on something super important. The job Rex did, both in Baltimore and in New York against Brady, was different than the way other people were able to defend Brady. And look, I would agree with Bart on this from the standpoint of how Peyton Manning changed the game. Peyton's command and control at the line of scrimmage was something that everybody started copying, including the New England Patriots. Basically, people tried to start doing it the way that Indy was doing it with Peyton Manning because you were always right, with Peyton. And, other teams tried to copy them. They just didn't have Peyton Manning. The difference in New England is that Brady eventually started to do some of the things at the line of scrimmage that Peyton was able to do. But there is no question in terms of changing the game, in terms of how people would defend you, Peyton was different. And I think that scared people more.
Just flat out, Dominique, you played against both of them. Which one gave you more agita game week, Brady or Manning?
It was obviously Manning. I had no wins against Manning. We held him to like 16 points one year. I was in Baltimore, and they still beat us. Had several wins across Baltimore and Denver against Tom Brady. But the difference was Tom Brady was a great player, obviously, and maybe he's even better now than he was back then. But back then, Peyton Manning knew exactly what you were going to be doing just about every play. And for us to get an interception against Manning, it required us to know that he knew we were in a coverage and then switch that coverage and know that he knew we were going to switch that coverage and show the coverage. It then showed the coverage 3 seconds into the play and then switch back. One of the most impressive interceptions that Ed Reed ever had was because they only ran like 5 plays. They ran a deep comeback. They caught in front of me and Reggie Wayne. They hurried up and repeated the comeback. So I was like, all right, I'm going to sit on this comeback. So I pointed to Ed to let him know. I sat on the comeback. They convert to the go. Ed takes 2 steps away, comes back and gets the interception. That's just for one pick. That's just for one pick in one game. He wasn't making mistakes. You had to be like 3 steps ahead of him in order to even make a play.
How about it, Fowler?
So all these Jedi mind tricks we're talking about with Peyton Manning, and he was the GOAT at that for a while, but Brady's been doing that recently, like over the last 8 to 10 years when Manning's been out of the game. You talk to teams, you talk to players now, that you ask them who's the best at like pre-snap reading the defense and winning with your mind, and they all think Brady's the best. And so, he was the wizard now, doing it late in his career, putting those mind tricks on Peyton Manning.
That's what I wanted to ask. Tim, I literally have 15 seconds. Is Brady now doing that at the same level that Manning did it at his best?
Yeah, his command at the line of scrimmage, because of the reps doing it, has definitely gotten better over time. And so I think it's fair to say they're comparable, no doubt.
Yeah, that's the point. Manning did it first. Brady has now has started doing it and continued doing it, and he's going to be 45 years old in August, and he's still going to be doing it. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.